Hello and welcome to Homemaking with Joy. I'm Rachel and today I am making some freshly milled brownies for my son's birthday party. As with most of the recipes in my kitchen, I'm looking to convert from all-purpose flour to freshly milled flour. There are a myriad of reasons why I want to do that, and I can talk about that another time, but this has been thus far my favorite brownie recipe. It's thick, it's fudgy, it's just like you would expect in a normal brownie, but it's made with freshly milled flour. It makes a 9 by 13 and is perfect for feeding a crowd. So let's get started. The other great thing about this recipe is it comes together in one bowl, making cleanup much easier. So the first step is to grab 2 sticks of butter and melt them in your bowl. You can do this on the stovetop or the microwave. I'm going to choose the microwave because that's faster. I did soften my butter ahead of time, but you don't have to. The recipe said soften, but you put it in the microwave, so I don't know why it needs to be soft. Get all of it out of there. It would be much easier to get out of the packaging if it weren't soft. Feel free to keep these and grease your 9 by 13 too. Be right back.
I got this tip from Melissa K. Norris as I was watching one of her videos about making pie crust. Of course, you use a decent amount of butter when you make a pie crust, and she had a lot of these butter wrappers left over. And so she recommended using it to grease your pan because it's just wax paper with butter on it, and I need to grease the pan anyway. So 2 birds, 1 stone, and now I'm ready for the next step.
The butter is melted, we're good to go. My next ingredient is brown sugar. I'm going to make a slight adaptation from the original recipe. I enjoy finding recipes online, especially when they have a comment section, because I can learn so much from other people who have made this same recipe. And if you've been around my channel for a while, you also know that I like to reduce the sugar in things as much as possible. The original recipe calls for 2 whole cups of brown sugar. I'm going to reduce it to 1.5 cups. I need to make sure I have enough sugar to keep the texture of a brownie, but it's also really sweet. So most people found success with like 1 3/4 cups. I'm gonna go with 1.5 cups. I saw someone in the comments even like completely split it in half, only did 1 cup. And they said it turned out okay. So I'm thinking 1.5 cups should be good. So with that, I'm gonna get some brown sugar in my bowl.
In a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. My summer love. Been waiting for you, my love.
The next step is a little bit different than what I'm used to, but the recipe says to put this bowl back in the microwave or back on the stove if you do it that way to warm it up again. So it says it should be hot but not boiling, and this is to make sure that sugar is really melted in with the butter, and it helps to create a shinier crust on top. I can't guarantee I'll get a shiny crust on top, but I understand wanting to melt the sugar back in. So I'm going to pop it back in the microwave for just a little bit, and then I will stir it back together, and then we have more ingredients to add.
Been waiting for you, my love. My summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. I can't forget the day we met. You looked so fly in your red Corvette. Your hair, your look, your everything. When I see it all on you.
It's definitely warm. The butter has separated a little bit, but I'm just going to stir that back together and then move on to the next step. Definitely got warmer though. At this point, you're just adding ingredients like you would a normal brownie recipe. So first we have cocoa, 3/4 cup, Next is salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. One teaspoon of baking powder. If I had some instant coffee or instant espresso powder, I'd add it now, but I don't have any on hand, but it does make them really yummy. A tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then we will mix that thoroughly.
You have my heart, you have my soul, you have my whole, you have my control. Love me tender, love me sweet, with you I know that I'm complete. I'm in love with the summer's day, for you I'd give my life away. Never leave me, never let me go, my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love. My summer love, been waiting for you, my love. My love is forever yours, forever yours. My love is forever yours.
Now that this is well combined and the butter has cooled off a little bit, we're going to add 4 eggs. We don't want the butter to be hot and accidentally cook the eggs. And mix well. My brownie batter's looking good, and now it's time to grab the flour. So I set up my grain mill right next to it. I have my hard white wheat, and we are going to weigh out 170 grams of wheat to mill right into this bowl. $170 grams of hard white wheat. If you have a kitchen scale and can weigh your grains, I highly recommend you do that. It is much more accurate. Now for the mill. I have a mock mill 100. I like it very much. The power button is over here. Hear that turn on. Take the lid off. Take our grains and dump in the top. The mill has finished. I turned it off. I have my flour in my bowl. That took maybe 30 to 45 seconds. And the benefits you get from freshly milled grain, I cannot speak highly enough of a grain mill and freshly milled flour. So let's get this incorporated, and then we have one more ingredient to add. The batter is quite thick, but you just have to keep working it without mixing it too much and making them chewy. Because the more you mix wheat flour, the more gluten develops. So I just want to combine everything, not over mix it. The last ingredient I have to add is chocolate chips. Another way to cut the sweetness for our family is to use dark chocolate chips instead of semi-sweet. Also, the recipe calls for 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm just going to do 1 because these have plenty of chocolate in them. We're ready for the pan. Before I do that, I saw some comments on the original recipe about people having trouble with the correct thickness of the batter. This is how thick my batter is. I would say it's on the thicker side for a brownie, but it's still like brownie texture. So, in case that helps anyone, that's what mine looks like. My oven's preheated to 350 degrees. You saw me grease this earlier, so I'm just gonna scoop this into the pan. I really like this big bowl because it holds so much, but it's also very difficult to hold on to when I'm trying to empty it. I have dropped it. Like there's butter all through the inside, so I'm trying to grip it without dropping it. My baby bump helps hold it up here. And then I will spread it out. I'll clean off the spatula and stuff off camera and then show you what our finished product looks like. And here they are, ready for the oven. 350 degrees for about 30 minutes.
My brownies are out of the oven. You can see it does have a little bit of a shiny crust like the recipe said it would from putting that butter mixture back in the microwave. I'm going to toothpick test to make sure they're done. You can see my knife is clean, no batter came off, so they are baked and ready for the party. I cut the brownies into small squares to serve at our party. You can see it's a little bit cakier than the last time I made them because I reduced that sugar, but they were absolutely delicious either way. Happy birthday to my son.